On this episode of Spill the Tea with LLIB, we have Rachel Gilbertson, a talented filmmaker and visionary who's ready to share her cinematic magic with us. So Rachel, spill the tea on what the journey as a woman in business has been like for you so far.
It's been a long one, really.
But you look so young.
Thank you. I'm 30, no, I've been self-employed since I was 19.
Wow.
Well, I left college and I just couldn't get a job. I don't know whether that was because I was so young or because I didn't have much work experience. So, I decided to sort of go self-employed at 19.
Wow.
After doing like a enterprise course, which I really enjoyed. And then I just went and did, because I started making jewellery.
Yeah.
And then it sort of went from making jewellery into like a lot of other things. And then it just went from there, really. I went and did, like you say, the enterprise course. And then I was on, trying to think what it was, like job seekers allowance.
Yeah.
But then through the job centre, they helped me write a business plan.
They're so good, aren't they?
And also they put me in touch with the women's organisation, which obviously is a great organisation for anyone starting out in business. So they really supported me. And then it was weird, really, because I went from doing craft fairs and stuff like that to then I had a rented space above the tea rooms in Crosby. And then within a year of being there, the shop next door came up to let. So me and another lady ended up taking that on for 2 years.
Wow.
So by the age of 20, I had my own high street shop in Crosby.
Wow.
Yeah. So we just went through that, really, and then it got to the point where the footfall wasn't the same.
Yeah.
Because obviously we adapted into all the things, when it was like all the statement jewellery and the accessories, handbags, home decor, stuff like that. And then my business sort of adapted into doing Liverpool themed cushions. Wow. So it was like Crosby beach cushions and with the Iron Men, and then Skyline cushions and stuff like that. And then it just sort of, we closed the shop because the old lady wanted to retire and I just couldn't afford the 10 grand a year rent on my own, no chance. So we just decided to call it quits, really. And then I went online, still doing craft fairs and stuff like that. And then obviously since then I've changed into photography and film. Obviously because that sort of died down, mostly because of COVID, really.
Yeah.
People weren't spending the money, so I decided to go to university during COVID, which we were quite lucky, because it was smaller classes. So I went to LMA in Liverpool, and it was really, it was a good time. But it was an interesting time because we were one of the only universities in.
Yeah.
So I sort of, from that course, I sort of went into photography and film. And then that's it, really.
Yeah. I love that. What a change.
What an evolving business.
Did you, when you were doing the crafts and things, did you enjoy taking pictures of your products that you had then? Is it always been something that you've been interested in?
Yeah, so I've always been interested in the creative side of things. It's weird, really, because obviously when you're younger, you don't know what you want to do as a job or a career. So I've tried different things of doing radio courses. And then I've also been I used to do art when I was younger, like as a kid. And then I just sort of went from...
really creative.
Yeah.
So really creative, and love taking pictures, even if it was like when you were on a holiday or just like when you're out at the beach and stuff like that. So
yeah,
amazing.
So what challenges, it sounds like plenty, you've spoken about plenty already so far, but what lessons have you learned from those challenges that you faced?
Obviously I've learned a lot with like growing up and being in business. So when I first started out in business, I didn't have a clue. Like I say, we had great organisations.
I don't think any of us do we? You know?
Massively
like the women's organisation was great. I think Blue Orchids was another great organisation. And then it was really just sort of learning from other people in business. It was learning as you go. Yeah. Make mistakes as you go. And just sort of getting on with it, really.
I don't know if you know, but me and Cal both started off with the women's organisation as well, and it's actually the women's organisation that put us both together, and then we created Leading Ladies together. Obviously we both had our own businesses, but then we joined forces and created this platform thanks to the women's organisation. So we're 100% behind you with that.
So what advice do you have for other people around challenges in business?
Challenges and advice, I'd say, don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah.
Because, like you say, there's a lot of people who've had businesses and are self-employed out there. I wish I asked for more help, to be honest. But then, obviously, I've learned that now, like becoming older and stuff like that, because I was so young in business as well.
What was stopping you then? So when you were younger in business, what was stopping you from asking? So how can we help our younger generation ask? Like, I'd love people to just send me questions about like, what's this, or how do you, like, what was holding you back, do you think?
I think with me, it was like, I don't know whether it was because I was shy when I was younger. And I think a lot of younger people are like that. Because they see a lot of older people doing so well. And it's like, oh, they won't have time for me. They're like, they're on their own journey. But at the end of the day, I think everyone wants to see people succeed. And obviously, like now, it's strange because you have your like 9-to-5 jobs where you work for someone, but then I think I know it with me looking back, like I got in newspapers and stuff like that because I was so young in business.
Because you were so unique.
And it was like, it was strange for me, but it was also great because it put me on the map with my business. But then a lot of people were like, oh, actually, it's quite good to see young people wanting to go out and start their own business. Like, you know, a lot of young people can get on the wrong path in life. So
100%.
I think we have a really entrepreneurial generation that are coming up as well, because we see a diversity of business out there now. You know, we see YouTubers and influencers and social media becoming a business in its own right. And, you know, there's lots and lots of our younger generations now, I think, who are coming up wanting to be, you know, self-employed, wanting to work for themselves, wanting to have that business. And so, you know, without people who've done that previously, and again, that identification of, oh, well, you're 19, you know, you've done it. Like, how did you do that? Without that role model to follow, it's really difficult for them. So I think, you know, having that
really
journey is great.
It really is. So building a successful business does involve a lot of risks. Tell us about a risk that you faced or that you've taken in your business that you think, wow, like that changed.
Well, obviously, like going through like my main business now, like photography and film, I say a risk that I took because obviously I started the business when I finished my first year of university, because I was like, it was during COVID, and it was like, I'm not sitting on my backside doing nothing for 6 months.
Yeah.
So I took that leap to go, right, I'm doing this. And it's actually sort of paid off. But also my sort of risk that I took was because with university, you only had to pass the first year of university. I wasn't in university as much as I should have been, to be honest.
Yeah,
because I was too busy building my business. So there was sort of lessons I missed, but I was still sort of building a business and getting on with my university work as well, which really helped me to sort of build the business, but also learn like
put all those things into practice.
Yeah, put them all into practice, because in my head I thought the more I'm out doing photography and filming, I'm building my portfolio up for future clients, so people could see what my work was like and stuff like that.
That might have subconsciously gone back to that very first 19-year-old who couldn't get the job because she didn't have experience. Like, now that lesson. So all them people who said no to you because you haven't got experience, that then, transformed into what you did in university to get experience, because you knew that you needed that from them lessons. So that's I think that's an incredible point to make in terms of the no's that we get, or that you haven't got enough of the, like, don't take it as like, oh, it's me, I'm not good enough. It's like, okay, so what lesson am I learning here, and how am I going to implement that in the future? And I can see that you've done that. You've gone, oh, I need experience, I need to build a portfolio.
I always think that, because a lot of people get so down about rejection, and I'm thinking, well, no, I think we all need that. We need rejection first to build our characters and our not egos, but our like strength as ourselves. And then obviously to get the determination and the passion to do what we really want to do in life.
Imagine someone would have said yes to you at 19 and you'd have been in that job, and you'd have still been in that job, and you'd have been absolutely happy. Like, your film and your photography and the impact you're making on business owners now, and people now, it just may not have happened if that wasn't there at that time, or you didn't get that opportunity at that time. I love that. Love it.
So what 3 top tips within your niche, within photography?
I think I need to get a notepad now.
Would you give to any women in business watching this episode?
I'd say, obviously, like, because there was the previous guest saying about the networking and stuff like that. I don't believe in that, because I have a great sort of community of other photographers. So like, when
Rachel, I thought you were just about to say, I don't believe in networking or community. I was thinking, oh my goodness me, get this woman on this one.
So, like, we have a great community of like photographers and other videographers, filmmakers, stuff like that. And it's great to sort of work with each other. And obviously, like, there's like say if you're booked that day, you can always pass on the work. So linking back to your question, I'd say definitely network with all the people in your field.
Amen.
Because I think, like you say, everyone's unique at what they do, and I especially think in the field of like filmmaking and photography, everyone's got a different eye, everyone's got a different look on certain angles and things like that, which I've definitely learned. And another tip is probably, if you're not sure about something, it's always good to have fresh eyes on something if you're not sure on like what you're producing. And what was it, the third one?
A third tip.
Oh wow. This is hard.
Really hard, isn't it?
I think I've already said it. Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah, love that.
But also, like, even if, like, from other people, like family and friends, but also other people in business, because they know what you're going through, like, to run a business. So
yeah, and I think often, you know, you can get caught up in your own head, can't you, with the problem and trying to solve that yourself, where actually if we just asked, there's always somebody. We talk about in networking, don't we, about the like 7 degrees of separation to any one person, and I think in Liverpool it must be about 2, because everyone knows everyone and their dog, don't they? But you know, if we're just saying no one knows what problems you're struggling with on the inside, only you. And so the more we speak about that, oh, do you know, I'm finding it really hard to do this, or there's always someone who goes, oh God, I can help you with that. Or yeah, when I did that, this is how I overcame that, or this is what that looked like for me, or have you tried this? And people are so helpful. Like, if somebody comes to you with a problem, the initial thing that most people want to do is help that person get through it. And so speak about it, ask for that help, and it will come. And then the problem shared. They say, don't they, a problem shared is a problem halved.
Yeah, and I think as well, like through the last 3 years that we've had as well, through COVID and stuff like that, businesses are struggling.
Yeah.
And I think now more than ever, the whole business community needs to pull together. And obviously, like, mental health's through the roof now as well. So I think, like you said, the more people can get together over, say, a coffee and talk about things, it's
so
more prevalent now.
Yeah. Can we get together over a cup of tea, though? Because we do have a closing tradition on this show.
Okay.
So can we come together over a cup of tea and ask you the most important question of the day, which is, if you were to make a cup of tea for either myself or Claire, how would you make the perfect cup of tea?
Well, everyone has a different answer for this.
They do.
They
That's the
do.
whole point,
really
Rachel.
do.
That's the whole point.
So you boiled kettle, obviously.
Yeah.
And no one that I've seen has mentioned about sugar yet.
But that's a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
And
And
do you want to go there, Rachel?
With
Do you want to go?
I have sugar.
you a sugar girl?
If you have sugar.
Yeah.
So how I make cup of tea anyway, is obviously boil a kettle, put your sugar in or sweeteners.
Okay, first.
Before even a tea bag or anything. Oh.
And then tea bag in.
Yeah.
And then boiling water. Get the spoon. And literally put the tea bag against the mug, the edge of the mug, to get the strength of the tea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A proper builder's brew.
Another one for another builder's brew.
And then
I'm strong, get
everyone
milky.
is surprised at this. I take the tea bag out, throw it away, and then put the milk in.
I'm not surprised at that at all, Rachel.
And then obviously stir.
Rachel, I genuinely thought you were going to say everyone's surprised in this because I put one in the bin and then get another one out after the milk.
Right, I only do that.
You've got me on suspense. I'm such a...
So I have done that, but only if it's too milky. And then...
Right, so I'm going to tell you this right now. If you wouldn't have took the tea bag out and you would have added the milk in,
you would have been wrong.
You would have been able to see that colour. Just we say a hug. Everyone says squeeze it, but it's a little hug, isn't it? Hug the tea bag. Have a little look. Stir it around a little bit. Give it another. Oh, it's perfect. Like, you know what? Think of the tea bags that you're wasting. Think of the money that you used to go be saving.
I think about it though is if you do that, and I have tried that in the past, is if you take the tea bag out after you put the milk in, you're taking half the tea out the cup.
I thought of that. Yeah.
But aren't you taking half the tea out even when you take it out before?
Oh, I feel like this is a whole other
I feel like I need therapy.
Just try it, girls.
And you know, I'm going to give you a tip, not obviously to do with the tea bag, but if you put your sugar in first and then you put your put your sugar in after your tea bag goes out, because your tea bag could take some of the sugar with it if it's not like dissolved at all.
I just feel like you shouldn't
I can
have
hear
any
the rest of the
other,
guests laughing and sniggering in the background and saying,
But you
have no idea what we signed up to.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have sugar, so it wouldn't be my perfect cup of tea. But the fact that tea bag does not at any point touch the milk, and on 90%, would we say 90% of the occasion you wouldn't put another tea bag in? Yeah. So I mean, the very fact that the tea bag doesn't touch the milk, that's
maybe
2-0
half a point
to me, isn't it?
Maybe half.
No, there's no half.
2-0.
Well, there was one in the previous one.
Yeah. We've had 2 guests before.
So I'm a 3. They've all been me today, haven't they?
No.
3?
No, our first Claire was me. Yeah. 2-1. We'll see.
Oh God, I think it's because I'm 40 and we're getting forgetful.
But you don't look it.
Thanks very much.
Rachel, you've been an amazing guest. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us on Spill the Tea with LLIB.
Thank you.
Yay.